Okay, we're going on a drive to Burragorang Lookout, which is a 38-kilometre drive from Oran Park in FSD supervised. And we'll see if the car can successfully get me out of the garage today. And it does. That's great. It's indicating the speed in these streets is 40. It's actually 50. Not that you do 50 down here, because they're just residential streets, very narrow, and school holidays. There's kids about, but not only that, it's just not necessary. It's going to get us out here and see which way it's going to take us. It's a tricky corner. Car on the left, nothing on the right. Around it goes. It can see all the way around the car all of the time, so it's a lot better at doing that. I find that it's very assertive with intersections and roundabouts and things like that. The only real problems I've had with it have been sometimes not getting across into a lane in time to take an exit on a motorway, or a couple of times trying to go straight ahead in a right turn lane, and also trying to make a right turn in a straight ahead lane, and that's happened a couple of times at the same intersection. So I don't know if it's a mapping issue with it. I'm not sure whether the car can read road signs, speed signs, or road markings. Sometimes it appears to, and other times not so. But anyway, it does feel very much like you're in a car with someone else driving. It's a lovely clear day today. Just give the windscreen a wash. I believe it will wash the windscreen itself if it needs to, but it hasn't done that as yet. I took a mate for a drive last night. I picked him up and we were off to a band practice, and I didn't tell him about FSD, and he didn't notice that we drove all the way without me touching the steering wheel or pedals. It was only a 10-minute drive, but still. I said to him at the end, "Did you notice I wasn't driving the car?" Does indicate for exiting roundabouts most of the time. this way. Very strange route. Don't find that the car drives too slowly. It's going how I'd feel comfortable if I was a passenger in a car. It's always different feeling between being the driver of the car and the passenger of the car. So the driver doesn't notice the braking and acceleration and cornering as much as the passenger does, and I know that from driving, doing a lot of on-track work and taking people for rides and having people sitting in the passenger seat and people having their V8 experience. It's quite interesting seeing what kind of habits people bring to the track from their road driving. And the hardest one to correct is actually holding the steering wheel, of all things. Getting people to hold it like that and not one hand there and the other on the gear stick. A lot of people drive like that, and if they do that when they go on the track, they're generally the ones that end up going off or into a wall somewhere. Anyway, here we go, green light. Doesn't seem to keep the indicator on all the way. Like once you get into a left turn lane or something, it'll indicate to go into the lane and then it tends to go off. There's nowhere else you could go. I don't know whether you're meant to keep the indicator on or whether it's okay for it not to be on, but that's how it does it. And I don't know that anyone would expect you to be doing anything other than going in the direction of the arrow. In fact, if you did, you'd be in the wrong as well. This is an interesting turn here onto the Camden bypass. A lot of oncoming traffic, but plenty of clear views. I find that it will turn you know, just as the last car's going past, it'll turn straight away. It's very assertive. pretty much how I would normally go myself. But compared to autopilot, it's chalk and cheese. Autopilot, I had to really more often will have my foot over the accelerator because it would phantom brake occasionally or brake unnecessarily for things that it wasn't going to hit or whatever. There was no danger, but autopilot brakes in all sorts of strange spots, so you have to really be ready to hit the accelerator, especially if there's somebody behind you, because they might run up the back of you. So let's see what we're going to do here. Yep, look at that. Straight around, no mucking around, and we're into a 100 zone here, and the car should get up to speed fairly quickly. Not as quickly as it could get up to it, but it gets up to it nonetheless in a respectable time, comparable to other traffic, probably a bit quicker than most people actually. It's chosen this way to come, which is fine. I actually wondered why it was taking me the wrong way the other night on a motorway, and I turned it around and then found that there was, further down the other motorway, there had been a breakdown, and it was just cleared when I got there, so it must have just had something in the navigation that said there was a breakdown on the road, and so like every time I've tried to beat Google Maps thinking I could be quicker, the technology generally always wins. I'd prefer to go a longer route and not be stuck in traffic if I'm moving, but with FSD it doesn't bother me. Now we're just coming out around this truck now. It's done that all on its own. Speed down to 80, car will adjust for that. Was in the wrong lane and then crossed over the solid white line, which you're not supposed to do. Slows down going over this bridge. It's 80, but it slows down. Here we go, 60 or something. It's ridiculous. Here comes a Hyundai fluorescent greeny colour, very bright. driving, I don't enjoy driving on the road very much, unless like a drive like this today would be okay. I'll probably drive back, but the amount of people doing the wrong thing, running red lights, stop signs. I had someone crash into this car a few months ago, just changed lanes into me and sideswiped the two driver's side doors. Both the doors were replaced. It was all done under insurance. Sharpline Smash Repairs in Burragorang Park in Sydney did the job. They're a 5-star Tesla approved repairer, and I was with Shannon's, I still am with Shannon's. They're also a Shannon's recommended repairer, so I went with them and they did a great job. But yeah, just driving on the road, I'd rather save enjoying driving to the odd track day and country roads and things like that. But once you've experienced the car driving itself, it's obvious that it is really the way that things are going to go, and this is going to save so many lives. It'll be absolutely incredible once this technology becomes ubiquitous. It's a little bit close to the back of this Toyota in the front here. I normally sit further back, and you can't adjust the follow distance with FSD, so I can only assume that the car is a lot quicker at reacting than what I would be. But it's not just for the reactions, it's because if you're following too closely behind the car in front, you can't see anything further down the road. All you can see is that car or that truck. You see people on the motorway and they're 2 metres off the back of a semi-trailer. It's like driving in front of with a brick wall in front of you. You can't see a thing. And you need to be looking, like I'm looking down around that corner there, as far ahead as you can, with your primary vision, because your peripheral vision will cover everything coming back to the car, and even things that happen that come out of nowhere. Your peripheral vision will catch that, and you'll react to it and brake or swerve, generally without even having to do it, think about doing it. You know, a lot of times where something has happened, I've actually braked or swerved or done something, and it's all, I haven't had to actually think about it. It's all done automatically, because we learn to drive, and then when we become good at it, we do it at the subconscious level. So that's one of the dangers of humans driving the car, because we learn to drive. And if you remember, when you are learning to drive as a learner, you're slow and all this sort of stuff, and you've got to think about using indicators and all the stuff you've got to do. It feels like you're thinking about 50 things all at once, it's quite a load. And then as you get better, everything happens automatically, and you stop thinking about it. Of course, once we start doing things at the subconscious level, it doesn't matter whether it's learning to walk or learning to read and write. You don't think about it. It's just automatic. And so the problem with driving is that when people do that, they're doing it automatically, and then their brain says, I can think about something else now. I can think about all sorts of stuff going on in my life. I can make a phone call. I can, some people look at their phone, look at this, look at that, become distracted, and then next minute, bang, they've had a crash. They've run off the road. There was a truck crash this morning down Victoria, where a truck has gone off the road and collided with two other trucks that were parked. The drivers in those parked trucks were sleeping. They weren't injured, but the driver in the truck that hit them, and that truck consequently burst into flames, that truck driver died. And I don't know how long it's going to be before they stop just, increase speeding fines and, double demerits and all these sorts of things. Stop fining people and warning people and telling people to be careful and take care. They need to start getting people off the road who can't drive. Take their licences from them and don't let them back on. People that kill people in crashes, they might lose their licence for 2 years. They should never get it back again. It's not rocket science. So I think anyone who's in a crash and they're at fault should, depending I guess on the severity, they should at the very least have to have a psychological evaluation and a driver refreshing course and a driving examination, and then they can keep their licence. And if it's a bad sort of crash, they should just lose their licence straight away, subject to having those things. If people thought, look, if I do this, I'm going to have to go and do a driving course and it's going to cost me more money than the fine and da-da-da-da-da, maybe that would make them feel a little bit more engaged in focusing on what they're doing. So that's good. We're heading up this hill here. We've just overtaken the truck, moving back into the left lane. There's no one behind us. Car's going fine. So far, no interventions. The car's done really well. We did a right turn back there where there was an amber yellow, an amber light, amber arrow, and I probably would have stopped there myself, but it would have been a fairly brisk stop. There was someone behind us as well, so if you did that, you might end up having someone run up the back of you. But we got through the intersection before the light turned red, so that's okay. This car's turning right, so we're just going around them. Trouble at all. I know exactly what I'll be doing when this technology becomes unsupervised, particularly when I'm coming home from a gig and it's early in the morning or late at night. I'll probably be sitting in the back seat and going to sleep and getting home. Won't that be good? And I won't have a problem doing that. The next update of FSD is supposed to be make it feel sentient, according to Elon. Elon, the man of much hate, who people hate on Elon and Tesla like it's a sport. I don't agree with everything he says or does, but you can't take it away from him what he's been able to do with every business that he's been involved with. A lot of times people will say, oh, he's an idiot, this and that. Well, he must be one of the smartest idiots that there are. I'm going fairly slow up here. I think it's saying it's 60, so that's why we're going slow. I didn't see the 60 sign, but Musk, it's a bit like shooting yourself in the foot, really. There's no other brand of car that you can get for any money that can do what this is doing. For any money. You couldn't pay any manufacturer any amount of money to say, I want full self-driving in the car. They'd have to buy a Tesla and put a different skin on it and then say, here's your car. It's not just the full self-driving of the Teslas, it's the whole way they're made and just their processes and how they're so vertically integrated. They're really, and it's not just Musk, it's the staff. I think they've got about 130,000 employees. A lot of the world's best engineering talent across all of their businesses. Look at the rockets land, look at the Starship progress, Neuralink, the boring tunnel, and everyone says it'll never happen, won't work, can't do that, and every time Musk proves them wrong. And so to sort of avoid something because of one person, do you know who the CEO of Ford or General Motors or Honda or Nissan is? What are their political leanings? What are their religious beliefs? Do they go against yours? Is that enough for you to avoid a brand? It's a strange thing, but for my experience, I think anyone that buys an EV that isn't a Tesla, and whether that's a new one or a used one, I think it's a wrong decision. Until, of course, the other ones adopt the FSD technology, which I think there'll probably be a Chinese one eventually. I think China will get it before anybody else because they're putting the money into it. Xiaomi, I think, is, and Zeekr, but there's not going to be 5 different FSD platforms because the cost of developing it is just incredible. I heard yesterday that since FSD has been released in Australia, that they've clocked up 1 million kilometres, and it's only been a few weeks. So that's all data that they're collecting, and will be used to train the model and make it better. So it's only going to get better from here, and so far it's not put a foot wrong today. Some music just started then, I don't know why that was, but it was only very soft. Just don't have anything on because I don't want to get a strikeout on YouTube. Probably add another camera so you can see my ugly face. A few potholes there. I might just I like to keep back a bit too because of potholes. If you're too close to the vehicle in front, then if there's a pothole you might not have time to avoid it, because this doesn't avoid potholes. It's hit quite a few, but fortunately they haven't been wide enough to cause a problem. But because it's got the 20-inch wheels on this. I did damage to one pothole that I actually hit myself. autopilot, I think, but I didn't see the pothole because it was at night, it was raining, and the pothole was full of water. It looked like, didn't look like pothole. It was on a motorway, and of course the motorway, which was interlinked roads, had no interest in compensating me for the damage to the wheel or the tyre. I had to replace the tyre. It didn't go down straight away, but it took a big chunk out of the sidewall. So I replaced the tyre. But I'm told to repair the wheel and the tyre it would about $700, but then I thought I'll take it to the small claims court, and it's been a long time since I've been there, and it's $1,000 now. So if ever you have any damage done to your car on a pothole or something, make sure that you tell them that it's over $1,000, so when they dispute your claim, if you've got video evidence of it and everything, which I did, then you can take it to the small claims court. And my experience there is that if depends on the magistrate you get, and if the magistrate has some life experience and has been through similar things in their life, and they understand what you're saying, and that, you know, and as long as it's, you know, within the law and all this sort of stuff, that more often than not they will rule in your favour, because you know, that's it. But a lot of these things end in the, you know, when you do a small claims thing, there's a mediation process firstly where the parties come together and have to meet and discuss it before it goes before a magistrate, and you could go into that and say, look, it was $1,200, but if you give me $800, you know, whatever it's going to cost you, you settle it now, and then you could walk away. So it just depends if you've got the time to do all of that, because you've got to take time off work if you're working. I'm retired, fortunately, so that type of an exercise would be a bit of an amusement for me more than anything else. We go back into another 100 zone. Nice quiet day on the road. Nice lines through the corners too. It's not just sort of staying in the middle of the lane. Not exactly the lines that I would be taking, but still, it's going around pretty good, very smoothly. To go. See if there's a parking space it recognises, and see if it'll park itself, and I'll get out and have a look at the lookout and then go home. showing 53 or something, so I don't know where I got that from. So I've just dialed it down with the scroll wheel. Now we've got a little bit of a dirt road up here, I think. Is it? Oh no. Lanes marked up here. Looks like there were some lanes, some lines there, but they've faded. Don't expect there to be any or too many people up here. It's Wednesday. Slowed us down to car park speed. I guess it realises it's in a car park. And we've got this roundabout. There's a few community buses and things here, which is good to see some people out on such a great day. There we go. It's going to stop me right here. Thanks, Tesla. No parking there. Now we've got parking spaces along here. There's one. Start parking. Here we go. So that's great.